Saving a day is tough. I gotta save the day. I gotta go to school. I gotta take care of all my stuff. And then you want to know what makes me go to school, right? I'll tell you. Why did I choose to go into game development? I mean, to be real with you, well, I'll take you back a little bit. I mean, I went to Art Institute of Atlanta, and I went there for game art and design. I mean, I like art a lot. I mean, as you can see, I like to decorate and stuff like that. I love to use my creativity to express myself, rather it be art on some shoes or a canvas, or it be even even in my home or in some of these fish tanks that you see. So my reason for going into this degree and going back to school at Full Sail was to do something different, to challenge myself. I got into the idea of gameplay more when it came to games, and not necessarily so much of the art side of it. I mean, I do still love that, but I would definitely like to say I got into the gameplay side of it. And seeing how games play now, seeing all of the different ideas that I might even have myself, or some that me and my friends talk about, I figure game development was more of the area that I needed to go when it came to my degree or what I want. And if you know, as I was even talking to my advisor, if ever, I can always go back to that art side of it. So for me, program director Sean Kendall, that's my program director. I'm actually not too familiar with some of the things that he has did, but that is something I'm going to be looking into more things that he's worked on throughout his career. I'm excited to get to know more about him, but then also learn what he can teach me as well through this whole process. So some of the softwares and even the languages that we are going to be using in our degree in our industry, I'm not even familiar with yet. When I went to Art Institute, I didn't kind of get into that. I didn't get into the software, the languages, those type of things that I would use. I didn't get into that. I didn't get to that part yet, you know. So that's going to be exciting to learn that I'm going to be using Unreal. It's funny to see that we're using the Unreal engine because there was a moment in time where there was a game called Unreal Tournament to be exact. Funny that my math teacher, my calculus teacher, he actually mentioned it as we were talking about programming, and we were talking about how the programming of Unreal goes into what we're constantly doing and why they use it today. And it was when me knowing games and knowing some of the history and what we use, hearing that made me kind of like smile, knowing like, okay, I'm not crazy knowing that the Unreal engine comes from the game Unreal Tournament. So that was really cool. But yeah, I'm excited to know that we'll be using C++, C hashtag. I don't even know what you want to call that. C pound, I guess you want to call it, or C hashtag. That's how unfamiliar I am with it, because I don't even know what to necessarily call that one. I mean, C++ is kind of, you kind of get that, but the C pound is the one that I don't really know so much about. I will definitely say I don't know so much about that one. I looked and we're going to be using Java. There was another software called Script. Man, I don't know kind of none of them, but the one of my biggest traits is the ability to learn things at a fast pace and be able to soak up knowledge. I think that's one of the coolest things that I have the ability to do. Be able to soak up knowledge. So even though I may not know all of what those softwares and languages that we're going to be using, I may not be familiar with them in entirety, I can still say I'm excited to learn them because I know what my ability to soak up knowledge. Very, very fun experience for sure. My degree, personally, I feel like one of the harder classes I don't like to use the word hard because I more challenging than hard. Hard kind of stands in the world of like defeating to me. So I kind of think of things as a challenge more than anything, or course that I think I might have is physics. Um, and I say that with a grain of salt, understanding that as I progress within my career and within my class, my understanding of it will get higher, will get better. Um, but the fact the understanding of motion, distance, time, speed um, of an object, of you bouncing something and it going from here over to there, and being able to display that knowledge or that understanding within a game, I think may be will present some challenge. But I also believe that will present some challenge because I'm not familiar with the software. I haven't gotten to that part of game development. That's something I haven't traversed yet. So as I get further within my degree, and I partner with peers that are within my degree, um, within my classes, make more of a study groups. I think that's the best way to get through some of these is developing relationships with my peers, developing study groups, somewhere where we can go, we can talk, we can converse, and find what's challenging to each different person. And mine, like I said, would be probably physics. The easiest one of my classes, or something that I think wouldn't give me a lot of trouble, would be English composition. I don't. English composition is one of them things that I've never. Or I should say, English isn't one of those things that I've struggled with in my, or I've had a time or had any necessarily kickback from. Um, I would like to say my imagination kind of gives me that ability to express myself verbally and in written. Um, so English composition, being able to build stories, and I believe the English composition will be building a storyline to a game. Um, will be some part in that, I believe. But I'm looking forward to that class because, like I said, English is something that I've never really had a hard time with. My imagination is kind of like, I'm a kid at heart, man. So having the imagination that I have, the creativity that I have, being able to express myself verbally or even written, like I said, kind of comes a little natural. Not, I wouldn't even say easy. It comes natural. That would be the word I would use. Natural. One way. So we all know. We all gonna face some challenges when it comes to time. Um, when it comes to the curriculum, I'm gonna say to the grind of the balance of school, work, life, all of our what we like to do. We're all gonna come into some type of challenge when it comes to that. For me, the way I try to find balance within that, and even what I think will help me in the future is establishing relationships, networking with my peers, with like-minded, with the people around me. You know, exchanging. I guess you want to say exchanging knowledge, exchanging what I know for what somebody else knows. Um, but all in all, I think it's just about building relationships, networking, um, building a group, I should say, um, within that, and developing a plan and sticking